All right, this is the second video as I'm exploring AI coding with more than just going to ChatGPT and saying write me code, but actually using Roo Code, which is a plugin for Visual Studio Code that is puts you into the realm of the app Cursor, which does the same thing, only it's commercial. Roo Code is open source. So here's where I am at the moment. I have a Flask app. I can go to a page that I want to convert to Markdown and copy the URL, and I can then view the page. Yeah, I don't know why this looks so awful. We'll get to that at some point. And but it's the page, and then it clears the URL, which I wouldn't like. Then click Save to Markdown, and then we can see Save to Markdown action detected. It's going to now make an LLM call to read that HTML and convert it to Markdown. So we'll get back to that. But what I wanted to show in this video is the concept that you use a cheaper URL while you're developing a cheaper model, and then if you get a roadblock, you can then switch to a more expensive model. What I've done here is I've switched to Optimus Alpha. That is a research model. We all think it's OpenAI. We don't know who's put it out. Right now, it's free, and so I can come in. And then what I asked for, so I'm going to use this free model that is probably a research model from OpenAI, but it's a very smart model, much smarter than Gemini 2.0 Flash or 4.0 Mini, which are the ones that I use for the bulk of the coding. But what I did was I asked for a code review. So we have the code that was already written that we just saw work, and then so it's got an app and it's got an index HTML. It's got a YAML file, and then it goes and tells me that I have an API that's hard coded, which again, this is development, so I didn't care. But it's that I should, load it from an env file. I'm not sanitizing the URL input. Again, this is only designed for me to use for myself, but clearly this would not be something you'd put into production. And then the LLM response parsing assumes a fixed structure, add arrowhead. So it gave me what it should do. So what I'm going to say now is implement the implement moving the keys and passwords into a .env, and let's also have it fix the sanitize URL import, and for the LLM response, avoid only output the markdown, not any commentary from the LLM. Now, I did all this in one. Typically, you might want to do it one at a time. So we'll see how this works. And you can tell the difference between having this inside your development environment versus using Claude or ChatGPT or Grok in a chat window, asking it a question and then copying the code into your environment, running it. If there's bugs, you copy the error code, go put it back in. You can see that this really ups the game for how you can increase your productivity while developing result. But it does quite a bit of thinking, quite a bit of work. It's all in this window here, so you can go back and look at it. Up here, now this is a free, because it's they're testing. By the way, since they're testing, they put the model out for free. You better guarantee that they're definitely training on your prompts. So would not be appropriate if you were doing something more sensitive than what I'm doing, which is just a personal learning project. But normally, your API that you chose would have a cost associated with it, and you could see how much what you just asked it to do cost you cumulatively, and it lets you know about the context window. In this case, this model has a 1 million context window, so we're just barely scratching the surface there. And it says the following improvements have been made. APIs and endpoints are now loaded from a .env file. Hard-coded secrets have been removed. URL input is sanitized to only allow HTTPS URLs. Oh, that might give me problems. We'll see. So let's go here. Let's stop the current. I like to start with a fresh. There we go. You notice that it's prompting me. It says we should run this command. I set the settings to do everything automatic except execute approved commands. So before it does anything outside of my development environment and runs a command on my box, I want to see what it's doing. So in this case, I'm perfectly happy for it to do that. All right, so now let me come in here and run the app. And let's go to a different Snowflake documentation page. Pop it in there. Let's view the page, and then save to Markdown. Oh, I still have this bug I haven't fixed yet. And it takes a little bit of time. And let's take a look and see. It hasn't created the third document yet, so it just took a little bit. So now we have a new, and you notice, unlike these other ones where it had put in some LLM talking, here it just did the output. So that worked. So we are making progress, and in this case, I'm really relying on the smarts of the tool to do a lot of this coding for me. This is not my area of expertise, and I'm learning. So, in a regular workflow, I would be getting in much more involved and looking at the code itself, maybe just making the change myself for a lot of the stuff. The point isn't to turn your brain off and use an LLM. The point is to accelerate your own productivity, and you work as an augmented developer with LLM power, not just handing over all the responsibility to the AI. And there you go.